So we're standing here in the great room. We've already shown you quite a few other trim videos from the primary suite, the coffered ceiling in the living room, and all of the boxed openings through all the jambs throughout the entire house. Now we're standing in the great room, and you can see here we have these little slits in between these drywall steps. So let's explain what those are right now in this video. So we're standing here in the great room. I'm gonna take you over. I won't climb to the top of the ladder here, but you can see this ceiling is very unique in this great room. We have a mini coffered ceiling, if you will, with these drywall steps. And you'll see these little channels we have that are running each and every way, east and west, north and south throughout this great room. And then of course we have our box detail all the way around. Now, the reason that is designed this way is just so we can lay out the great room in this pattern, make sure all the boxes are laid out correctly. And then we can space all of our fire sprinklers, our can lights, and everything's nice and central in here. Now what's gonna end up happening is that you can see that the width of this channel here is 1.5 inches. And the reason being is we're gonna have 2x4s running the length and width of this entire great room. So the 2x4 itself is gonna be vertical. So think 1.5 wide, 3.5 tall, which is a normal 2x4. And it's actually gonna die into this soffit perfectly. So just think of like a coffered ceiling with these vertical 2x4s running across. Now what ends up happening is on every side of that 2x4, and we're gonna take you over to the plan set to show you how this works in the detail side, but you have crown in a V. So you're gonna have crown going every way that in each of the corners will be mitered to each other. And then we have crown all the way around the exterior of this room that'll also be mitered into each other. Then on the bottom of the 2x4, because the crown is stacking up, we'll have a nice flat piece of MDF trim. So it's really encasing that entire 2x4, and it creates a mini coffered ceiling with a ton of detail. And then inside of that, we have these drywall steps, which create these mini boxes inside this great room. So another great trim detail, completely different than the other ones. Let's show you what this looks like on the plan set. You can see our mock-up crown here. Again, this goes back to our earlier video. To understand all of the detail in the plan set, make sure you're writing down a detailed scope of work before you send out to bid. That way you understand each and every component of the entire house that you're building, as well as the bids are coming back, so you have a good bid abstract, and you can compare and contrast to make sure that the pricing is correct. You can see here, this is our wood beam box detail. So right here, this is our 2x4. You can see here that we have our drywall lid. So our 2x4 here runs vertical, as we see, and we have 2 pieces of crown. Right now I only have 1, but we have 2 pieces like a V, as you'll see here. So both pieces of crown are installed, and this gives us that incredible detail. And then on the bottom, you can see that this has this little piece of trim installed. So this little piece of trim goes on the bottom, and it looks like this crown comes all the way down to a deep V and goes all the way up. This is going to be running north and south, east and west for the entire great room. And then around the perimeter, we'll also have crown molding. And so the entire detail will have this nice little step down, crown detail all around with those drywall steps in between.